Yashodanandana Rajajananandana Yashodanandana Rajajananandana Yashodanandana Rajajananandana Yashodanandana Rajajananandana Yamunatiravana Chari Yamunatira Yamunatiravana Chari Yamunatiravana Jaya Ratta Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Jaya Gauranitai Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Jaya Jagannath Jagannath Jaya Balade Jaya Subhaja Jaya Jagannath Jaya Jagannath Jaya Balade Jaya Subhaja Jaya Rukmini Dogadish Rukmini Dogadish Rukmini Dogadish Rukmini Dogadish Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya 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 Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jai Vishnu Pada Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtadhara Satta Shri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Founder His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnu Pada Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtadhara Satta Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananda Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Sakha Ho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gaur Gopinan Shama Kun Radha Kun Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Shri Jagnapuri Dham Ki Jai. Gangamai Chamunamai Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai. Transcendental Prasadam Distribution Ki Jai. Harirama Sankirtan Ki Jai. ISKCON Youth Vagadam Ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Pramanandi Hari 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 Bo. All glories to the Sambodhi Hare Krishna. All glories to the Sambodhi. All glories to the Sambodhi Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Namo Vishnu Shasmati. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskrityam Naranchaiva Narottamam Devin Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udidayet Nasta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavadi Utamashloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, Chapter 13, text number 18 through text number 23. Because there is no purport from text number 18, 19, 20, 20. Or there's a short purport 22. So we will do 23 together. So I just chant the other verses myself. Itya pityaya to nasa vivara sahasanaga varahatako niragat angusta parima naka. Translation. O Saint Vidura, all of a sudden, while Brahma was engaged in thinking, a small form of a boar came out of his nostril. The measurement of the creature was not more than the upper portion of the thumb. Text number 19. Tasya vipasyatakasta shanena kira bharata gajamacha pravaride tadabhutam abu maha. Translation. O descendant of Bharat, while Brahma was observing him, that boar became situated in the sky in a wonderful manifestation, as gigantic as a great elephant. Text number 20. Marichi pramukai viprai kumarai manuna saha drishtata sokaran rupam takayam asa chichada. Translation. Struck with wonder at observing the wonderful boar-like form in the sky, Brahma, with great brahmanas like Marichi, as well as the Kumaras and Manu, began to argue in various ways. Text number 21. Kin eta sukara vyajam satvam divyam avastitam aho bhatascharyam idam nasyayam me vinishritam. Translation. Is that some extraordinary entity come in the pretense of a boar? It is very wonderful that he has come from my nose. Text number 22. Drishton gushta shiromacha shanagada silasama api svi bhagavam esha yakyo me kadayamana. Translation. First of all, this boar was seen no bigger than the tip of a thumb, and within a moment he was as large as a stone. My mind is perturbed. Is he the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu? Translation. Purport. Since Prema is the supermost person in the universe, and he had never before experienced such a form, he could guess that the wonderful appearance of the boar was an incarnation of Vishnu. The uncommon features symptomatic of the incarnation of Godhead can bewilder even the mind of Brahma. So let's do text number 23 together. Iti mimam satas tasya brahmana saha sunubi bhagavam yagya Purusho Jagajat Kinja Sanibi Asaniba Iti Mimam Satastasya Brahmana Sahasunubi Bhagavan Yagya Purusho Jagajakenja Saniba Iti Mimamsa Tastasya Brahmana Sahasunubi Bhagavan Yagya Purusho Jagajakenja Saniba Sanabhaya Iti Mimamsa Tastasya Brahmana Sahasunubi Bhagavan Yagya Purusho Jagajakenja Saniba Iti Mimamsa Tastasya Brahmana Sahasunubi Bhagavan Yakya Purusha Jagaranja Saniba Mataji's Purusha Yakya Purusha Iti thus Mimam Sata while deliberating Tasya his Brahmanaha of Brahma Saha along with Sunubihi his sons Bhagavan the personality of Godhead Yagya Lord Vishnu Purushaha the Supreme Person Jagaja resounded Aga Indra great mountain Sani Baha like Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. While Brahma was deliberating with his sons, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, roared tumultuously like a great mountain. Purport. It appears that great hills and mountains also have their roaring power because they are also living entities. The volume of the sound vibrated is in proportion to the size of the material body. While Brahma was guessing about the appearance of the Lord's incarnation as a bull, the Lord confirmed Brahma's contemplation by roaring with his gorgeous voice. Om Gyana Timinandasya Gyananjala Sharakaya Chakshu Uminitan Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manopishtan Stapidan Yena Bhutare Swayanupa Kadama Hyan Tadati Swam Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamanam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sakrachata Sahagana Nakunata Vitam Tam Sajivam Satvaitan Savatuta Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Chakapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastude Tapta Kamchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindava Nishwari Vishwabhanu Sudhe Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakau Pataru Vyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishvanebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasade Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Iti mimang satastasya brahmana saha sunibi Bhagavan Yakya Purusho Jaga Jagenja Suniba. Translation again. While Brahma was deliberating with his sons, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu roared tumultuously like a great mountain. So here, Maitreya Muni is continuing telling Vidura, the story about the appearance of, Varahadev. So in the purport of the verse 22, Srila Prabhupada, he said, the uncommon feature symptomatic of the incarnation of Godhead can bewilder even the mind of Brahma. So it reminds me the story of Indra, the king of heaven, in the Krishna book. Because there was one time that Indra, he was actually bewildered by the appearance of Lord Sri Krishna. There was one time that Krishna's father, Nanda Maharaj, he collected a lot of items, a lot of things like rice, dal, halwa, pakola, puri, and all kinds of milk preparations such as sweet rice, rabri, sweet balls, sandesh, baskura, and ladus. He collect a lot of items just want to start the Indra Yagya, the worship of Indra. But Krishna doesn't like this idea to worship the demigods. He wants to stop his father Maharaj Nanda to do that. So somehow or other he convinced his father Nanda Maharaj, to stop performing the Indra Yagya. And instead of performing the Indra Yagya, he used all the items prepared for the Indra Yagya to worship Gauranga hill. And then you know, when Yinja got the news about this, he became really mad, really angry. So, Prabhu, he said here, when Yinja understood that the sacrifice which was to be offered by the cowherd man in Vrindavan had been stopped by Krishna, he became angry. And he vented his anger upon the inhabitants of Vrindavan, who were herded by Nanda Maharaj. Although Indra knew perfectly well that Krishna was personally protecting them. So, as the director of different kinds of crowds, so Indra immediately called the Samantaka crowd. So what is this Samantaka crowd? Prabhu, he explained here, this crowd is invited when there is a need to devastate the whole cosmic manifestation. You can see how, strong is this, how heavy this is this Samantaka, crowds. So the Samantaka was ordered by Indra to go over Vrindavan and inundate the whole area with an extensive flood. Demonically, Indra thought himself to be the all-powerful Supreme Personality. And then Prabhu, he explained that when demons become very powerful, they defy the Supreme Controller, the personality of Godhead. And although Indra, is not a demon, but he was puffed up by his material position. And he wanted to challenge the Supreme Controller. So Indra, he thought himself, at least for the time being, he is as powerful as Krishna. So Indra, he said, just see the impudence of the inhabitants of Vrindavan. They are simply inhabitants of the forest, but being infatuated with their friend Krishna, who is nothing but an ordinary human being, they have dared to defy the demigods. And then we all know that Krishna, immediately lifted up the Govardhan hill for 7 days and 7 nights with his little finger, left hand, with the little finger of his left hand for 7 days and 7 nights. And all the inhabitants of Vrindavan underneath the Govardhan hill, they are not feeling any hunger, thirst, or tired. Yeah. And then Indra, he understands actually Krishna is actually his master. He has committed great offense, And then what did he do? So he came sneakily, he doesn't want to, broadcast his mistake. So he is a kind of hiding. So he come to Lord Krishna secretly. And he made nice prayers to Krishna. He said, to Lord Krishna, my dear Lord, Indra said, being puffed up by my false prestige, I thought that you had offended me by not allowing the cowherd man to perform the Indra Yagya. And I thought that you wanted to enjoy the offerings that were arranged for the sacrifice. I thought that in the name of Govardhan sacrifice, you were taking my share of profit. And therefore, I mistook your position. Now, by your grace, I can understand that you are the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, and that you are and that you are transcendental to all material qualities. Your transcendental position is called Vishuddha Sattva, which is about the platform of the material modes of goodness. And your transcendental abode is beyond the disturbance of the material qualities. Your name, fame, form, quality, paraphernalia, and pastimes are all beyond this material nature. And you are never disturbed by the three material modes. Yeah. So actually, probably there's a very nice verse in the Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna telling us that Jamakama chame divyam evam yovati tatpadaha tyatvam deham punajamam naitima etisho arjuna. That means, whoever knows that Krishna's appearance and the disappearance are transcendental, are not material, then, he is fit to go back to the spiritual world. Yeah. So that's why Indra, he's here praying that Krishna, is never disturbed by the material modes, Your abode is accessible only for one who undergoes severe austerity and penances and become completely free from the onslaught of material qualities like passion and ignorance. If someone thinks that when you enter within this material world, you accept the modes of material nature, he is mistaken. So the waves of the material quality are never able to touch you, and you certainly do not accept them when you are present within this world. Your lordship never conditioned by the laws of material nature. And Lord Indra, he continuing making lots of beautiful prayers, It's in the Krishna book. We can definitely, it's really beautiful prayers. We can all, read them out after the class, Very nice, And then Krishna forgave his offense, and Indra went back to, to the heavenly planet. Yeah. It is also reminds me a prayer by Queen Kunti in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where Queen Kunti, he said, Maya Javanikachanam Agya Dokshajan Avyayam Nanaksha Se Mudadrisha Nato Natya Daroyata. She said, Queen Kunti said, that being beyond the range of limited sense perception, you are the eternally irrevocable factor covered by the curtain of deluding energy. You are invisible to the foolish observer, exactly as an actor dressed as a player is not recognized. So, Srila Prabhupada, he said that in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Shri Krishna affirms that this intelligent person mistake him to be an ordinary man like us, and thus they deride him. The same is confirmed herein by Queen Kunti. So the less intelligent person are those who rebel against the authority of the Lord. Such persons are known as asuras. The asuras cannot recognize the Lord's authority. When the Lord himself appears among us as Rama, Nishinha, Varaha, or in his original form as Krishna, he performs many wonderful acts which are humanly impossible. As we shall find in the 10th canto of this great literature, Lord Shri Krishna exhibited his humanly impossible activity even from the day of his lying on the lap of his mother. And then Prabhupada, he gave some examples. For example, he killed the Putna witch. Although she smeared her breast with poison just to kill the Lord. The Lord sucked her breast like a natural baby, and he sucked out her very life also. Similarly, he lifted the Govardhan hill, just as a boar picks up a frog's umbrella, and stood several days continuously just to give protection to the residents of Vrindavan. Probably again mentioning the pastime of Govardhan Lila. Yeah. These are some of the superhuman activities of the Lord described in the authoritative literatures like Puranas, Itihasas, and Upanishad. He has delivered wonderful instructions in the shape of the Bhagavad Gita. He has shown marvelous capacities as a hero, as a householder, as a teacher, and as a renouncer. He is accepted as the Supreme Personality of Godhead by such authoritative personalities like Vyasa, Devala, Asita, Narada, Madhva, Shankara, Ramanuja, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Jiva Goswami, Vishwanatha Chakravarti, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, and all other authorities of the nine. He himself has declared as much in many places of the authentic literature, and yet there's a class of men with demoniac mentalities who are always reluctant to accept the Lord as the supreme absolute truth. This is partially due to their poor fund of knowledge, and partially due to their stubborn obstinacy, which results from various misdeeds in the past and the present. Such persons could not recognize Lord Sri Krishna even when he was present before them. Yeah, just like the big demon Shushupal, he challenged Krishna as well as Kamsa, even Lord Krishna appeared before them. But they cannot understand that Sri Krishna is actually the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yeah. So such persons could not recognize Lord Sri Krishna even when he was present before them. Another difficulty is that those who depend more on the imperfect senses cannot realize him as the Supreme Lord. Such persons are like the modern scientists. Prabhu here mentioning the modern scientists. Yeah. Prabhu, he said, they want to know everything by their experimental knowledge. But it is not possible to know the Supreme Person by imperfect experimental knowledge. He is described herein as a dokshaja, or beyond the range of material knowledge. So actually, we human beings, we actually have 5 defects, or 4 defects, actually 4 defects. First of all, our senses is not perfect, And then, we are constantly in big illusion, thinking, this material body is our true self. And we also have a tendency to cheat and to be cheated, So that's why Prabhu, he said here that, they want to know everything by their experimental knowledge. How can your experimental knowledge, be perfect if we tend to commit mistakes, right? Prabhu, he continues, said that, but it is not possible to know the Supreme Person by imperfect experimental knowledge. He is described herein as a dokshaja, or beyond the range of experimental knowledge. All our senses are imperfect. We claim to observe everything and anything, but we must admit that we can observe things under certain material condition only. Yeah, this is very true. For example, our eye, can only see a certain, kind of waves, but we cannot see even infrared rays, Yeah. So our senses are limited. Yeah. The Lord is beyond the observation of sense perception. Queen Kunti accepts this deficiency of the conditioned soul, especially of the woman class who are less intelligent. For less intelligent men, there must be such things as temples, mosques, churches, so that they may begin to recognize the authority of the Lord and hear about him from authorities in such holy places. For less intelligent men, this beginning of spiritual life is essential, and only foolish men decry the establishment of such places of worship, which are required to raise the standard of spiritual attributes for the mass of people. For less intelligent person, bowing down before the authority of the Lord, as generally done in the temples, mosques, or churches, is as beneficial as it is for the advanced devotees to meditate upon him by active service. So there's another nice point that Srila Prabhupada said in verse number 23. Prabhupada, he said that it appears that great hills and mountains also have their lording power because they are also living entities. Yeah. So we often find that the big mountains, they have water, the waterfalls. They are made from earth, of course, we can immediately understand. And sometimes they have fire inside the mountain also. And sometimes if the fire is too much, then volcano will come out. It will erupt. And actually, it reminds me a story of, Govardhan Hill. Yeah. There's a story, because Govardhan Hill is actually a person. Reminds me Govardhan Hill's story. Yeah, actually in the Shastra, in the Vedas, it is said that mountains are living entities who would move, grow, and fly, and none anywhere they liked. So once upon a time, in the land of Samani Dweep, there is a mountain whose name is Jonachal. Jonachal's wife, who is also a mountain, he gave a birth to a son, and he named his son Govardhan. But one time, there's a great sage, he was visiting that place, and he was really, attracted by that mountain. And the sage was thinking, the name of the sage is Pulastya Muni. So he's thinking, if I can take this mountain to my place, I can do very nice, meditation, tapasya there. So this Pulastya Muni informed Donachal that he was on pilgrimage to all the holy places and that he reside in Kashi. He explained that although Kashi was so auspicious due to the presence of the Ganga flowing through the city, and there were no hills possessed of such beauty as Govardhan. So therefore he asked Dronacharya if he would give his son Govardhan to him so that he could bring Govardhan to Kashi, so that he could perform his tapasya very nicely, in very nice environment there, He was thinking, the sage was thinking like that, Of course, as the father of the son, Dronacharya did not want to give Govardhan. And he cried in thought of possible separation from his son. But the mountain Govardhan, he was very smart. So Govardhan, he pretended to agree to go with the sage on one condition. So the one condition is that the sage cannot stop in the middle, cannot put him down in the middle. If he put him down, then he will not move. Yeah. So while the sage, and then the sage with his mystic power, he hold the Govardhan hill and start to, fly back to Kashi. But on the way, the Govardhan hill, using his mystic power, so that the Muni, Purasha Muni, he's feeling the need to relieve himself. That means, he creates situation that the Muni immediately wants to go to restroom to answer his natural call. And then, the sage, placed the Govardhan hill down. And after he, went to the restroom, he tried to lift the Govardhan hill again. And no matter how hard he tried to, so Govardhan hill didn't move even an inch. So you can see that even the mountains is a kind of person, it has personality, is a living entity. Yeah. So I just stop here. Are there any questions or comments? Okay, thank you very much for coming. Gantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhaktavinda ki jai.